I'm Bob Lenarduzzi, head coach of Canada's World Cup team.
Hi, I'm Craig Forrest of Canada's World Cup soccer team and of Ipswich Town of the English Premier League.
Do you want to know how I keep myself informed of the international soccer scene? By reading Soccer Canada, Canada's premier soccer magazine.
From now on, these will give you the world's closest shave. They're called microfilms, and they're only on the new Gillette Sensor XL. These microfilms precede the blades. As Sensor XL's spring-mounted blades adjust to your face, these soft, flexible fins gently stretch your skin, so your beard stands up for the closest, most comfortable shave ever. Get closest. Get the new Gillette Sensor XL.
Unchained, linked to a native instinctive appetite to break free, wheeling, leaving the city's limits behind, sight disappearing in the rearview mirror. Why? Because I am.
In my country, England that is, it's called football.
Funky, funky, I am a joker!
Accelerates now, looking ahead. Boiselle no longer a backer. Scott Goodyear takes the lead.
Get revved with the explosive Molson Motorsport IndyCar World Series. Don't miss 77 fast and twisty laps around the raceway on Belle Isle Park in Detroit. The Molson Motorsport Detroit Grand Prix. Sunday, the wheels are turning on Real TV, TSN. You're watching TSN, the sports network, home of World Cup '94. Dutch soccer reached its most glorious moment in 1988, sweeping the victory in the European Championships. But 2 years later, Germany eliminated Holland from the World Cup, a loss the Dutch did not take gracefully. Excellence on the field from players like Ronald Koeman helped lead the Dutch back to USA '94, but questions remain. Star striker Marco van Basten will sit out with an ankle injury. Then, Dutch legend Johan Cruyff announced he would not manage the World Cup team. As if that wasn't enough, striker Ruud Gullit left the team 2 weeks ago amid a storm of controversy. So Dick Advocaat has a tough task at hand, trying to reunite his team and try to recapture the glory days for fans of Dutch football. Live from Varsity Stadium in Toronto, TSN presents World Cup Exhibition Soccer as the Canadian national team takes on the national team of Holland. Welcome to Toronto, or is it Amsterdam? It's hard to tell. There is much Dutch at Varsity Stadium today as orange-clad supporters of Holland are everywhere, encouraging their team on to USA '94. Hi, everybody. Welcome to TSN's continuing coverage of World Cup Exhibition Soccer. I'm Gord Miller. USA '94 is now just days away, but for Canada, the trail ends here today. It's been an important month for Canadian soccer and a pre-World Cup tour that has seen Canadians perform very well in front of large and enthusiastic crowds. It began in Montreal with a 1-1 tie with Morocco, then on to Edmonton. 52,000 saw Canada tie Brazil at 1. At Varsity Stadium, it was Germany 2, Canada nothing, and in Montreal, Spain 2, Canada 0. With me again on the sidelines is Dick Howard. Dick, Canada will now become a spectator for the World Cup, but this has been a very important period for Canadian soccer.
A spectator, but what a fabulous experience, Gord. You've got a situation here, you're playing the top teams in the world. It's great for the players, it's also great for the coaching staff. It's also great for the CSA people because they've got used to using the experience of playing and entertaining and hosting these teams. Great for Canadian soccer. The key now is to follow on from that, obviously, with CONCACAF qualifying, Olympic game qualifying, but a great start. And as I say, who would believe those results?
All right, so the teams here are getting set, and our team is ready in the broadcast booth as well. Here once again are Vic Router and Graham Leggett.
Hello again, everyone. It has been a wonderful week for us. It started last Sunday with Brazil in Edmonton and now concludes with the Dutch here at Varsity Stadium, but it's the fitness of the Canadians. This may be just absolutely too much to ask of any team, and that includes Canada.
Well, I think the Canadians are going to be tired. I'm tired, and we've just been broadcasting the games, but I do think that the large crowd here, the enthusiastic crowd here at Varsity Stadium will lift the Canadian side. This is the last game in this pre-World Cup tour, and they are dying to go out with a bang.
This is a Dutch team that has a bit of a new face put on the field by head coach Dick Advocaat, but they do rely on some very well-known and experienced people in Koeman and Rijkaard.
Lots of experience there, 71 caps for Koeman, 68 for Frank Rijkaard. And although Koeman has had a lot of criticism this year for the way he's been playing, he is still a marvelous sweeper, and boy, his dead ball free kicks are something to watch.
In fact, Koeman was almost invisible for Barcelona in that European Championship. Frank Rijkaard.
Frank Rijkaard getting a new career, so to speak, now that he's moved back to Ajax, the last of the Golden Three. Hullet's gone, Van Basten's gone, but Frank Rijkaard is still going as strong as ever.
One of the people associated with the team said, you know, it's kind of nice this year. Not a lot of people are picking this Dutch side to win World Cup USA 94.
Well, I'm picking them as an outsider if they could only settle the differences. The internal squabbles are as famous as their multi-talented side, but hopefully Dick Advocaat's got them the right way now, and we'll see a great game today.
And the biggest disruptive influence, Ruud Gullit. Many of the players say they're glad he's not here, Gord.
All right, thanks very much, Vic. We're glad the fans are here. There's plenty of them. They'll make plenty of noise as well. Canada and Holland live from Varsity Stadium in Toronto on TSN's coverage of World Cup Exhibition Soccer. TSN World Cup Exhibition Soccer is brought to you by Royal Bank, Canada's largest bank, one customer at a time. By Chevrolet. By Snickers, the official snack food of the 1994 World Cup. By JVC, technically perfect, perfectly simple. And by Adidas.
You're looking at one Canadian. Over the next year, his food bill will likely rise 2%, his rent 4%. To some, rising costs are a fact of life. But with Royal Bank's extended freeze on service prices, his banking costs won't go up. It's a little thing, but if it helps one customer, it's worth it. After all, we got to be Canada's largest bank, one customer at a time.
TSN World Cup Exhibition Soccer is brought to you by Molson Breweries, where every beer is brewed totally free of preservatives. By the new Gillette Sensor XL and the Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get. By Canadian Airlines. Canadian Airlines is proud to be a sponsor of World Cup Soccer. And by MasterCard. No other card is accepted in more places worldwide than MasterCard. Not Visa, not American Express, MasterCard. Your card for life.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Varsity Stadium in Toronto. The whistle from the referee, Mr. Mike Reed, to begin this final exhibition game between Holland and Canada under ideal conditions, Graham. It's warm, it is humid. It is going to be a great test for the Dutch because the conditions similar, in fact, even more heated when they play in Orlando. There is a bit of a breeze, and it's blowing from the south, and the Dutch in this first half will be going into it. Frank Yallop to this near side. Has Colin Miller ahead for Corazine. Corazine shields it well, now plays it back. And the first touch for Frank Rijkaard. De Boer to Rijkaard, who gets caught up on the turf. In for Dennis Bergkamp. This is Roy, and offside. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Holland and head coach Dick Advocaat.
He's starting with a 3-4-3, De Hoy in goal, De Boer, Coleman and Volks, the back three, Rijkaard, Wouters, Jonk and Overmars, the midfield four, and De Boer, Bergkamp and Roy, the three front runners.
Yallop to midfield. And Frank De Boer. Bergkamp, one touch with Ronald De Boer. The De Boer brothers, the twins, in this starting 11 here at varsity. And Randy Samuel with the foul on Bergkamp. Randy Samuel, of course, he plays his soccer in the Netherlands.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have had too much experience playing against Dennis Bergkamp, who plays, of course, for Inter. And this is the player I think will give the Canadians the most difficulty this afternoon. Number 11, Brian Roy, plays for Foggia. An out-and-out traditional winger, very clever on the ball, tough to knock off.
Craig Forrest has been very impressive in the 3 games that he's played. Looking downfield for Onger. And now Holland will bring it back. Intercepted at midfield. Verduzco, who scored the goal against Brazil. Oh, and it went behind Verduzco, and now Frank Rijkaard and Jeff Onger will battle, and Onger is called for the foul.
Called for battling just a little too strong.
Near sideline. Stan Valks plays it back for the keeper. Oh, De Huy under lots of pressure from Carlo Corazin. Here's a chance. Squirts into the middle. Oh, it's blown dead. Verduzco thought he might turn.
And Holland's back three, De Boer, Coleman and Valks, getting into a little bit of trouble there as 4 white shirts had piled forward, but they're very, very good on the break as Dennis Bergkamp takes over on the left.
Following up Ronald De Boer. Also there, Overmars is Bergkamp. Chips it to the near side. Ian Carter back to defend for Canada. Overmars. This is Ronald Koeman. Plays it through, and the foul is on Rijkaard. So much is going to depend on Dennis Bergkamp's success for Holland.
Well, he's got a big pair of shoes to fit. He's expected to take over from Marco van Basten. And Dennis Bergkamp, obviously one of the premier strikers in the world, but van Basten certainly is tough to replace.
Frank Yallop. Randy Samuel. Overmars makes the challenge. Rijkaard will pick up the give and go, and then Carter intercepts. Eddie Verduzco plays it back. Dasovic. Colin Miller at midfield has a look and chips it near side for Jeff Onger. Onger for Miller, and off the hand of Wim Jonk, and then clear down field by Bergkamp. As we take a look at the starting 11 now for Canada and head coach Bob Lenarduzzi.
And the usual 4-4-2, Craig Forrest in goal, Yallop, Samuel, Carter and Fraser the back four, Miller, Hooper, Dasovic and Unger in midfield, and the 2 strikers, Carlo Corazin and Eddie Verduzco.
Wim Jonk. Oh, he has Bergkamp. What a lovely run. Roy overlaps. This is Roy, and getting back was Randy Samuel. But they're finding the holes, the gaps through the back four, Graham.
They are very quick to break, and in fact Dennis Bergkamp was clean through had his first touch been a little better. But Roy is the danger man. Bergkamp obviously has the reputation. Roy is the danger man in my book.
Ian Fraser looking for Colin Miller making the run, but back was Stan Volks. Dick Advocaat, you see him just under the awning, the first man on the left. the 46-year-old. Now this is over Marks. This is over Marks. Over Marks, Craig Forrest. Here's Roy. Roy setting it up. Roy waited too long. Bergkamp.
Well, unfortunately, it's a giveaway by Colin Miller that sets up this goal. Number 7, Overmars shoots, well saved by Forrest. Roy has a go, he cuts it square to Bergkamp, and Craig Forrest seemed to be screened. There's the ball square to Bergkamp. I don't think Craig Forrest ever saw this ball. Deflects off Frank Yallop past Craig Forrest. 1-0 for Holland. Bergkamp will claim it, but it was obviously a deflection.
The opening goal comes at the 6-minute mark. Holland with the 1-0 lead. Stan Volks over to Mark Carlos Corazin. The Canadians looking for handball. They didn't get the call from Mr. Mike Reid. Ian Fraser following up. Wim Jonk. This is Roy. Overmars. Bergkamp. It'll slide too far. Once again, we're seeing some players' difficulty with finding their footing as Overmars gets behind Carter. Overmars.
And Overmars wanted the advantage play then because Ian Carter was tackling but couldn't quite bring him down. Good run by Mark Overmars. Ian Carter caught wrong-footed, clips him in the back of the heels, and I think Overmars wanted a chance to go forward and try and test Craig Forrest. But here we get a chance to see what I consider to be the best dead ball artist in the world. Ronald Koeman from free kicks is absolutely dynamite.
The 5-man Canadian wall is set. Koeman wearing number 4, the Dutch captain. Oh my, it was Frank de Boer who took it, as I'm sure the Canadians like you were expecting Koeman to be there. Wim Jonk goes wide left. Chips it in, looking for Rijkaard. Dasovic to follow him, and then...
Goal kick. Rijkaard couldn't quite get it before it crossed the line, but not a bad effort. And there we see the strength of the Dutch. They line up with 3 at the back, 4 in midfield, and 3 up front. So all 4 midfielders are capable of coming forward. Perhaps Wim Jonk would stay back today, looking at Wouters and Rijkaard, along with Overmars going forward. But all are capable of coming forward and supporting the front three.
Coming up to the 10-minute mark of this opening half here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Holland with a 1-0 lead over Canada on the own goal. The last touch by Dennis Bergkamp. Bergkamp for Rijkaard. Now Bergkamp. Overmars. Overmars. De Boer. Rijkaard. Oh! Oh! One nothing. Holland leading Canada. World Cup Exhibition Soccer on TSN.
Putting your name to something can mean many things. For the people at Canadian Airlines, who have signed on as shareholders, it means everything. For travelers, it means benefiting from an airline whose owners you will not only find in the boardroom, but on the tarmac. It also means when there's healthy competition in the skies, there can only be one winner. You, the traveler.
Welcome back to Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Vic Rudder along with Graham Leggett. The through ball for Miller, then cleared away by Koeman as he came back and swept up neatly. We welcome viewers joining us in the United States on Prime Network. Miller has Onger. Carter flicks it in. Kept in play, and this is Brian Roy. What a lovely ball upfield. Falls into the lap of Bearcamp, looking for handball on the Canadian, Lyndon Hooper, and didn't get the call for Mr. Mike Reid. Carlo Corazine, Hooper as the Canadians look to somehow get the equalizer here. 12 minutes into this first half. Jeff Onger, through ball, Corazine. Volks is on his back, and Volks will win the battle, edge of the box. Now it's Mark Overmarks. Oh, it's opened up. It's opened up. This is Overmarks. Overmarks. Overmarks.
What a play by Mark Overmars, the Ajax midfielder. Strong, powerful run. He pretends to give it to Bearcamp, goes all alone, then just slips it past Forrest beautifully into the far corner. Here's the final seconds of the goal. A clinical finish. Just tucks it inside the far post. What a player. Overmars created the first goal. Here he is stroking it past Forrest himself this time for the second goal, as Randy Samuel cannot get back in time to recover. But what a play by the Ajax midfielder. Brilliant.
The goal by Mark Overmarks coming in the 13th minute, in Holland quickly strike for two. They lead 2-0 over Canada. Dick Howard.
One of the things, the Canadian team getting caught pressing the Dutch. They've received a lot of success with that in the games against the Brazilians, the Germans. But today, Bobby Lenarduzzi telling his front two players not to pressurize as much, to drop off and try and compact the midfield a little bit more. But Overmars and Roy very much in the danger.
Oh, the speed again. The absolute speed of the Dutch. And right there, Brian Roy somehow getting around Ian Fraser.
He's a dynamic little winger, number 11. Plays for Foggia, as I said, and obviously I'm a fan because he plays a genuine winger's role.
Now again, it's Overmarks. Overmarks, Roy! Cleared away by Fraser. Frank de Boer. Jonk. For Stan Volks. Overmarks. Ahead for Rijkaard. Tries to chest and control, but his push on Jeff Onger is blown down by Mike Reid. Randy Samuel. Looking for Berdusco. Well read by de Boer. This Canadian side nursing some injuries as well, so the bench isn't quite as deep as Bob Lenarduzzi would like it, and it comes at a time when he would love to have a little more depth on his bench, realizing that they've played so many games in a short period of time. Dominic Mobilio, the striker, will not play, as well as forward Grant Needham.
And of course, Alex Bunbury, the player we'd all love to see line up against a team like Holland, is out with broken jaws. So
Berdusco, Corazine, de Boer over very quickly. Rijkaard. Near side, the threes battle now, and this is Carter. And a little tug by Rijkaard. Jeff Onger is there for Canada. You can hear the keeper, Ed DeFuy, barking out his instructions. Onger to the far post and too far and over everybody. Ian Fraser too close and on top of Brian Roy. Volks to the captain, Koeman, and back. Corazine up to challenge to midfield over Marks.
Oh, unlucky. You speak about pace. Overmar's got pace to burn. Can he ever turn quickly and strong?
Ronald de Boer. Look at Roy make the run through the middle. Oh, very well played. Neatly played by Ian Fraser. Jeff Onger will play it all the way back for Craig Forrest. Frank Yallop. Randy Samuel. And it'll slip under the foot of Carlo Corazine.
And right now the Dutch have rearranged their formation a little bit. Dennis Bergkamp has dropped a little bit more into midfield. Mark Overmars is playing on the right wing. Brian Roy still in his position on the left wing. So in effect, the Dutch are playing with 4 strikers right now, 3 in midfield.
Here's Dusovic. Oh, Verduzco. Verduzco.
And the Dutch side a little over-complacent as Eddie Verduzco almost punishes them. Trying to walk it out. Coleman comes to the rescue. It's laid up to Eddie Verduzco. Turns and hits it, but it's wide up De Goey's near post. This Dutch side just oozes confidence, but there are times when they are overconfident and they play around in their own box.
Oh, look at it now. It's a race. It's Rijkaard. Rijkaard!
What a beautiful diagonal run by Frank Rijkaard. Dennis Bergkamp, who had dropped into midfield, just clips it through. Rijkaard leaves Jeff Onger in his wake, tries to go to the near post, covered by Craig Forrest. Better bet would have been for the far post, but Rijkaard, beautiful run.
Randy Samuel, Corazine, Ava Volks, and then the ball for Hooper went behind him. We're just shy of 20 minutes. First half here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. It's 2-0. Holland in front of Canada. They have wonderful pace. Rijkaard turns on Onger. Rijkaard, and now the wing looking for Overmars on this right side. Lyndon Hooper for Canada. Frank Yallop. Dasovic. Verduzco. Young marking him. Bergkamp. Samuel for Canada. Yallop. Ian Fraser has moved up. He's wide right. Randy Samuel. Verduzco makes a crossing run. They'll come to this near side and look for Corazine with Volks on his back, and it'll be a throw-in for Canada. Onger has Corazine. edge of the box, and they'll come right back. Ian Carter chips it in, and no problem for Ed Hui, the 27-year-old national member since 1992.
No problem at all, as 9 orange shirts had got back between Carter and De Hui for that cross. But I'm surprised that Bobby isn't playing with 2 wide men, because if the Dutch are going to line up with 3 at the back, you put 2 wide, then Coleman's left exposed in the middle. Right now they're trying to play down the middle of the park, which suits the Dutch just nicely, thank you.
Right card trying to get by, and that little obstruction. Right card and Jeff Onger. And now right card comes complaining to Mr. Mike Reed, and Jeff Onger might get more than just a warning. And the yellow card by Mr. Mike Reed.
Well, I think it's awkwardness on the part of Jeff Onger. We said this in an earlier game. I think it was against Spain. He really is not a defender and tackler, as we see Craig Forrest tidy up against Riker.
Over marks.
I think referee Mike Reed realizes that it is Jeff Unger's enthusiasm and his, rather than his intent to injure. But he's given Frank Rijkaard quite a battle, and Frank Rijkaard doesn't like it.
Dennis Bergkamp makes the forward run. Koeman, Volks, and De Boer will go all the way back.
And De Boer, Koeman, and Volks always ready to accept the ball from De Hui.
Chip through for Young. Right card with a little flick, and then cleared away by Frank Yallop. Carlo Corazine tangles with Stan Volks.
Quite a battle going on between number 5 and number 16. Volks follows through there as they fell to the ground. Free kick against the Dutchman.
Hooper at midfield. For Yallop.
Oh, beautiful ball.
Very nice. Bergkamp, Roy is on his left. And he looked to the right instead of the left. And by that time, Frazier, when he looked away, had moved over. Samuel. Downfield for Corazine. Volks will give chase. And Corazine couldn't keep it in play. Holland leads 2-0 over Canada here at Varsity Stadium.
Unchained, linked to a native instinctive appetite to break free, wheeling, leaving the city's limits behind, sight disappearing in the rearview mirror. Why? Because I am.
Welcome back to Varsity Stadium. Holland with a 2-0 lead over Canada. Vic Rauter along with Graham Leggett, Dick Howard, Gord Miller. We have approximately 20 minutes remaining in this first half. And here goes Brian Roy, and trying to keep up will be Ian Frazier. Roy gets it across. De Boer was there, but marked very well. Randy Samuel step for step with De Boer. Now at midfield. Colin Miller, it's opening up. He has room. He'll come wide left to Corazine. Verduzco heads to the top of the area. Looking for Verduzco and then hooked away by Frank de Boer. Ronald de Boer. Roy and back. Overmarks.
Offside. Well played, Randy Samuel. Overmarks was going forward, coming back to try and stay onside, and Randy Samuel just took a step forward as the ball was played through. Oh, go on.
Corazine plays it back. Onger now goes to the far post and over Eddie Verduzco.
Full marks to Jeff Onger for calling for that ball, but really I think that Carlo Corazine had the better opportunity. Unselfishly laid it back to Onger, but it was sitting there. You don't get two touches in the box when you're playing against the Dutch. You got to take it on the first one, chance your arm, and if it doesn't work, try it another time. But if you start taking 2-3 touches, Pullman and company will close down on you in a jiffy.
Corazine at midfield, steps over right card. Carter plays it up. To the far side, Frank de Boer, and into nearly the first row of seats here at a sold-out Varsity Stadium. 20,000 plus on hand to match the crowd that was here earlier this week to see the national team of Germany. Samuel has a look, chested down and controlled by Corazine, in very close to Hooper as he battled with Wim Jonk. Koeman. Dick Howard.
Things Randy Samuel said, the pride of the game, Vic, was you've got to close down Overmars, you've got to close down Brian Roy. If you give them space, there's going to be problems, and that's exactly what's happening in the game thus far.
Well, let's remember in the previous games against Brazil, against Spain, Germany, Canada trailed, but only at 1-0 at halftime. This is as quick game as they've fallen behind in this exhibition series.
Yes, it is, and it's easier said than done to close down Overmars and Roy, because if you close them down, then de Boer comes forward, then Jonk comes forward.
Miller has a go.
You can close down as many of these Dutch side as you like, but there's always one or two who get spare, and they can all do some brilliant work on the board. And once again, Coleman takes the short ball from De Huy, and everything works from him at the back, through midfield, and then onto the wingers, number 7 Overmars and number 11 Roy.
De Boer for Roy. Wouters made a run.
Good play. Oh, brilliant turn.
Brother to brother, De Boer to Wouters, to Roy, who has now come into the middle. And following up was the Canadian captain, Colin Miller. Jalop over the head of Dasovic. And De Boer. Wouters, De Boer, and the skill level evident now for this Dutch side. Koeman back to De Huy. Koeman looking for the run. Overmarks thought he might play it down the middle, but he played it to the right wing, Graham.
Well, that wasn't Coleman's normal pass. He's usually spot on.
Samuel has Verduzco, lays it off Colin Miller. Now he goes wide right, but not far enough, as De Boer read it very well. This is Roy. Roy steps by Jalop, lays it back now to Wouters. And it was Wim Jonk. After a very quick start, the Dutch lead 2-0.
To prove that armor all with Dust That X keeps your dash looking clean, we're here at the Desierto 500. Well, there you have it. Armor all with Dust That X keeps your dash looking clean.
We're opening a new door in Midas Car Care with a little twist on lube and oil service, because now your car's old oil is actually worth something. Club Z points. For lube and oil service plus Club Z points. Trust your car to Midas.
Welcome back to TSN's continuing coverage of this World Cup exhibition series involving the national team of Canada and Holland from Varsity Stadium in Toronto. 2-0, the Dutch leading. Goals at 6 minutes and 13 as we look at the head coach, Dick Advocaat, who took over in September of '92 this national side from Rinus Michels. It's a team and an offense that likes to come forward under Advocaat.
And they can all put some work on the ball. I don't think we'll see Dupuy kick a ball from hands at all today. He loves to work it to his fullbacks or, of course, to Coleman and let them play it forward. Ooh, well read by Bergkamp.
Three-on-2 break. This is Roy. De Boer is following up. Bergkamp is calling for it. Here's Bergkamp. Oh, and the challenge by Forrest was right on.
What a beautiful ball by Roy. Fake to give it to De Boer and just cut it straight into Bergkamp. Forrest does well to come out as Bergkamp tries to chip it over him. Good goalkeeping, but boy, they are so dangerous. Bergkamp, who's now assumed a position in midfield. These deep runs are so dangerous. Very unusual for him not to tuck that one away. When he gets one-on-one with the goalkeeper, it's almost a fait accompli.
Randy Samuel gives it away to Roy, and look at this. This is Vignon. Samuel trying to make amends, hustles back. Carter joins him, and Randy Samuel, who gave it away, will now try and win it back, and then pushes it over the line. It'll be a throw-in for Holland. Vignon, who plays at Inter Milan, along with Bergkamp. Here's an opportunity. Fouter and De Boer were both there. He's been very impressive, Craig Forrest.
I don't think that the Canadian fans can complain about the goalkeeping in this warm-up series. Craig Forrest was outstanding, and when Paul Dolan played against Spain, he had an outstanding game as well. So Canada very strong in the goalkeeping position.
Frank Yallop, top of the area, looking for Carlo Corazine, and now Colin Miller. And Canada will win the corner.
And they'll bring big Randy Samuel up to the far post. Carlo Corazine at the near post for the little flick on.
Jeff Onger, as it becomes now dark and overcast with a threat of rain here in Toronto. Corazine, Dasovic, far post, Verduzco gets up. De Boer, marked by Nick Dasovic. Plays it back to his keeper, DeHuey. And it has started to rain, Graham. Koeman. As the pace of the game has slowed up considerably. The very fast start by the Dutch.
Well, right now the Dutch team is just cruising. They got a 2-0 lead. They really are controlling the play.
Vignon. Vignon following up. Ian Carter does well. De Boer couldn't get through. Koeman. has Bergkamp. What a lovely ball. Bergkamp slides it through. This is right card.
That is vintage Dutch soccer. Coleman to Bergkamp, to Rijkaard. Brilliant. Bergkamp controls, lays it right through to Frank Rijkaard. He just has a look, tucks it right into the top corner. 3-0 Holland, a brilliant goal, excellent pass, terrific finish. Craig Forrest annoyed, but not much you can do about this. Frank Rijkaard just hammers it past Forrest right into the top corner. Great build-up. Coleman's ball was superb. Bergkamp's control and his layoff was brilliant, and the finish was clinical.
The goal by Frank Rijkaard comes in the 37th minute to make it 3-0 for Holland. Carter for Colin Miller. As this Dutch side in their final preparation before USA 94, showing that it might all just come together. And any worries about the lack of Ruud Gullit or Van Basten, no problem so far. Dick Howard.
Despite the quality that we're seeing so far, Vic, Dutch coach Bert van Lingen was saying that there's still spots up for grabs in midfield with his Dutch team, so several players playing for their places. You wouldn't think about it the way they're playing thus far.
Yallop will pick up the loose ball at midfield for Canada. Hooper. Dasovic. Samuel to Yallop. Oh, and it just, he took his eye off it. Skipped underneath his foot, and the Dutch will take over. De Boer to his brother. Ronald to Frank to Koeman. Young.
I'll go for that one.
Waltz. And it happens to both sides. Jeff Onger. Yallop. Fraser is wide right. They'll come to Berdusco. Dasovic is at the top of the area. This is Colin Miller. Miller tried to chip it through. Miller. He finally spots Fraser on the right. Berdusco, he has old Dasovic. Couldn't control with the outside of his right foot, Graham.
Tough ball to take, but he certainly got into the position behind Coleman, which is not done very often.
Behind Koeman, and the Canadians take over. Colin Miller thought he might be able to slide it between Koeman and Waltz, and couldn't. Over marks. Wouters ahead. Dennis Bergkamp gives chase. Bergkamp. Hooper is there to mark him. And it will go as a Dutch corner. Again, we expect to see plenty of substitutions. The agreed number, we're told today, is 4 and 1. 4 outfield players and 1 keeper. We've seen in this series of exhibitions as many as 6. Roy. Under 5 minutes to play. First half, 3-0 Holland. Getting up and headed away by Randy Samuel as he was marking Dennis Bergkamp.
Took it right off the head of Dennis Bergkamp. Frank Rijkaard is very dangerous at corners. He's brilliant in the air. But the ball went over him, and it took a tidy interception by Randy Samuel to clear it.
De Boer, Bergkamp steps away from Onger. Play on, says Mr. Reed, and then Frank Yallop was there for Canada. Dasovic can't control. Wouters to Young, and back to Koeman.
Everything comes back to Koeman. Instead of having a midfield general, they have a sweeper general. Oh, brilliant ball.
De Boer over marks, and he can't control, but gives chase now. Deep left side. Fraser back to mark. Rijkaard moves up. De Boer curves it. Here's Rijkaard.
timing was a little bit off, Frank. He didn't quite get it. He did the right thing heading it down, but couldn't get direction on it. But he is dynamite. When he comes forward, his runs to that far post for headers, as we saw then, is perfect.
Frazier has a look upfield for Verduzco, but over his head. DeHuey for Tumen. Verduzco giving chase. Has Roy. And very much like all these sides, the skill level, Graham, is all the passes that you say are 2 feet. Nowhere else but 2 feet.
They do vary that at times when Coleman gets the ball and hits 50-yarders 10 yards in front of Roy or Overmars, because they have the ability to get past the fullback just on the run.
Volks ahead for Rijkaard. Again, Onger called on the foul. Remember, Jeff Onger has already been yellow carded in his battle with Rijkaard. Bob Lenarduzzi walks into the dressing room today and says, Jeff Onger, your job is to mark Frank Rijkaard.
Good luck. He's doing a good job, but it's almost impossible to mark Frank Rijkaard because he ghosts past people. You think you've got him, all of a sudden you look round and he's 10 yards goal side of you.
De Boer has Roy. Bergkamp, Wouters, De Boer, Young. At midfield for Holland, they lead 3-0 into the final few moments of this first half. Ronald De Boer couldn't control. Randy Samuel to Yallop and back. Samuel, who plays in the Netherlands, second division with Fortuna Sittard. Ian Carter off of Rijkaard and a throw-in for the Canadians. This is Onger. Onger trying to turn and get by Hawks in hand. Onger far post, looking for Dasovic. Back. Frazier tried to skip it through, and there were 2 orange shirts there. Now it's Roy. Roy for Holland. Dasovic watching him. They clear it. And Tumen will carry it out for Holland. Overmarks, who has one of the 3 Dutch goals, and Samuel plays it back.
Well played by Craig Forrest.
Gave a little hip one way and went the other to get away from Overmarks. At midfield, Hooper. Colin Miller. Jeff Onger. Under lots of pressure, as in the final few moments, both sides maybe trying to turn it up just a little bit. Eddie Verduzco, Jeff Onger. Jeff Onger.
I think Jeff got caught in 2 minds there, whether to lay it forward to Corazine or whether to try a chip over DeHuey. Pretty tough to chip it over DeHuey. He is huge in that goal.
And there is the whistle from Mr. Mike Creed to end this first half of play, totally dominated by a quick start of Holland.
And this is what the Dutch fans came to see. The Dutch side has certainly turned on the style. They've given them an idea of what they can expect in the USA 94 World Cup. An outstanding performance by Holland, and it looked as if they hadn't quite moved into top gear yet.
Coming up at halftime, we will look at this Dutch side without Ruud Gullit, as well as Graham will have his first half highlights. It's been all orange. Holland leads 3-0 here on TSN.
No
card more accepted. No athlete more renowned. Join MasterCard and the legendary Pelé in celebrating the world's most spectacular sporting event, the 1994 World Cup.
Excuse me.
When hunger strikes, wolf down a Snickers, loaded with peanuts, caramel, nougat, and real milk chocolate. Snickers really satisfies. When your stomach growls, wolf one down.
In my country, England that is, it's called football.
Funky, funky, I am a junkie!
No refs, no rules, no coaches, just the players and the ball.
Funky, funky, I am a junkie! Funky, funky, I am a junkie!
From now on, these will give you the world's closest shave. They're called microfilms, and they're only on the new Gillette Sensor XL. These microfilms precede the blades. As Sensor XL's spring-mounted blades adjust to your face, these soft, flexible fins gently stretch your skin, so your beard stands up for the closest, most comfortable shave ever. Get closest. Get the new Gillette Sensor XL.
Support amateur soccer by purchasing officially licensed merchandise with the Support Sport Adidas USA 94 fundraising program. Quality t-shirts and caps at great prices. Watch for the colored soccer ball brochure with the TSN World Cup program schedule on the back. For more information, call your provincial soccer association or Support Sport at 1-800-268-4518.
Halftime at Varsity Stadium in Toronto, with Holland leading Canada 3-0 after a clinic by the Dutch in the opening 45 minutes. No question that the Dutch have great skill on the soccer pitch. First division teams throughout Europe have evidence of that. The question is, why can't the Dutch put it together in the World Cup tournament? The answer is pretty simple. Look at the big players in Dutch soccer. Van Basten, not playing in the World Cup due to an injury. But the biggest surprise of all, Ruud Gullit. The biggest star of Dutch soccer will not play in USA 94. It's been almost 2 years since Ruud Gullit last played regularly with the Dutch national team. He was expected to play in USA 94 after a sizzling season in Italy. Gullit scored 15 Serie A goals with Sampdoria and looked to have rediscovered his touch. But then 2 weeks ago, the unbelievable. Gullit walked out on the team amidst controversy. He will miss the World Cup.
It's his decision, and if somebody doesn't want to play for the Dutch team, then it's better to go away. And Gullit did. But it's hard for us to say because the reason is unknown.
What is known is that Gullit has questioned the tactics of manager Dick Advocaat. His defection remains a very sensitive issue in the Dutch camp on the eve of the World Cup.
We are never discussing about them. So we all know that we have to do without them. And we all know that that we have to do our best. And that's the thing that's important at this moment. It's not important for us to keep on talking about the players who are not here.
Well, when you work on the highest level, and when you are a coach of a national team, then you always work on high pressure. But it's a part of the job, and not only in Holland, all over the world, when you have the job of coach of the national team.
I hope that you can make it to the final, but you never know. I mean, there are also other teams, and I can't predict the future.
Dick Howard, it seems inconceivable to me that 2 weeks before the World Cup tournament, any team, but a team that is a contender for the championship, would be involved in a controversy like this.
It is surprising, but not surprising when you look at this Dutch team, because one of the things that has happened is that they've always had this controversy in tournaments. There's always been that dissension. The Ruud Gullit situation is one that's disappointing. He just basically disagreed with the philosophy of the coach. He felt that they shouldn't be taking an attacking philosophy for games being played in Orlando. And that's what he said. He wasn't prepared to agree with that. He said it to the coach, Advocaat. Advocaat said quite rightly, well, if you're not prepared to play the way I want you to play, I'm sorry, that's it.
If there is a break for Holland, it is the fact that its first round schedule would look comparatively easy. In fact, the Dutch probably have the easiest of any of the groups. When you look at the fact that they've got Saudi Arabia and Morocco in their group, it seems inconceivable that anybody but Holland and Belgium would go through from here.
Definitely. You look at this situation, Belgium is the only tough game in that schedule. They should have no problems at all with Saudi Arabia and Morocco, and I think that's a situation they're just going to get good results against Belgium, and they always have very close games against their neighbours.
Well, there are dark clouds here in Toronto, even some thunderclaps in the sky, and it's kind of appropriate because there always seems to be a dark cloud over the Netherlands just before the World Cup tournament. But it's been pretty good today at Varsity Stadium. 3-0 Holland leading Canada. We're back with more on TSN right after this.
You're looking at one Canadian. Like 10 million others, she now owns a home. And like 5 million, she has a mortgage. To most, she's an average Canadian just trying to make ends meet. But to Royal Bank, she's the reason we introduced a new money-saving mortgage called Rate Capper. True, we have 8 million other customers, but we got to be Canada's largest bank, one customer at a time.
How would you like to create video albums as easily as your family photo albums? Now you can with JVC's Video Album Maker camcorders. They let you pick the shots you want, take out what you don't want, and transfer them to your home VCR in any order. JVC's Video Album Maker not only improves your videos before you shoot, but after you shoot as well. That's because JVC invented VHS.
Now purchase a JVC camcorder and receive 10 bonus compact video cassettes. See store for details.
Diversity to city, town to town, may bring on turning points of interestingly satisfying a natural-born curiosity to say, what the? Why? Because I am.
To us, it was a challenge to totally reshape what you expect from domestic transportation. 5 all-new models with safety, design, and performance equal to cars costing twice as much. After all, just because you're on a budget doesn't mean you have to drive an ordinary car. The shape of things to come from Chevrolet.
A light rain falling at Varsity Stadium in Toronto, but it was pouring for Holland. 3 goals in the opening 45 minutes to give the Dutch a 3-0 lead over Canada. Lots coming up for World Cup soccer fans on TSN. The World Cup preview show kicks it all off Thursday, June 16th, with exclusive interviews and live reports from the World Cup sites at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific time. And the next day, we open with the first game of the World Cup tournament, and that is from Soldier Field in Chicago. To talk more about the game we've seen today, here again are Vic and Graham.
The Dutch coming into this game not quite sure of how they were going to play, and now they've got a chance to see maybe what a summer shower is going to be like in Orlando as we have moved inside out of the rain. They came out and I think just literally said, we realize how tired this Canadian side is. Let's turn it up and turn it on, and they did.
They did. They were smooth, very smooth, composed, super confident, and to get the click, 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 3 goals, that's just what the doctor ordered.
And the first goal, and it's all speed, comes at 6 minutes.
Well, unfortunately, Colin Miller gets robbed here by Overmars. He runs forward, hits it brilliantly, and Craig Forrest saves well. The end of the play, Bergkamp toe pokes it, comes off Yallop. Forrest wrong-footed, 1-0 Holland.
Yeah, that speed is really quite something. And the other thing is, it's one thing to have the speed, but you have to find the openings, and they did at the back four. It's almost as if the Canadians played it too flat at the back.
And you need the control to go with it. Overmars is very strong on the ball, very tough to knock off his stride, and in this first half he shows his pace once again. Dummies to give it to Bergkamp, keeps it himself, and this is a beautiful finish. Tucks it right inside the far post. Just great. Overmars had an outstanding first 20 minutes. By that time, Canada was up Canada was down 3-0.
That's right. So that goal came at 13 minutes. They added one more around 38 minutes. So it's 3-0 Holland with a half still to go. But maybe some question, because we can see lightning and thunderstorms off in the distance. Gord?
Yeah, we certainly can, Vic. It's a dark and stormy afternoon, especially if you're a Canadian soccer fan. Holland leading 3-0. The second half is coming up next here on TSN.
From now on, these will give you the world's closest shave. They're called microfilms, and they're only on the new Gillette Sensor XL. These microfilms precede the blades. As Sensor XL's spring-mounted blades adjust to your face, these soft, flexible fins gently stretch your skin, so your beard stands up for the closest, most comfortable shave ever. Get closest. Get the new Gillette Sensor XL.
When hunger strikes, wolf down a Snickers, loaded with peanuts, caramel, nougat, and real milk chocolate. Snickers really satisfies. When your stomach growls, wolf one down.
You're looking at one Canadian. Over the next year, his food bill will likely rise 2%. His rent, 4%. To some, rising costs are a fact of life. But with Royal Bank's extended freeze on service prices, his banking costs won't go up. It's a little thing, but if it helps one customer, it's worth it. After all, we got to be Canada's largest bank, one customer at a time.
Putting your name to something can mean many things. For the people at Canadian Airlines who have signed on as shareholders, it means everything. For travelers, it means benefiting from an airline whose owners you'll not only find in the boardroom, but on the tarmac. It also means when there's healthy competition in the skies, there can only be one winner. You, the traveler.
Welcome back to Toronto and TSN's continuing coverage of World Cup Exhibition Soccer, now in a driving late spring rain shower here at Varsity Stadium. The Dutch leading 3-0 over Canada as the officials slowly make their way to the field. But so far, Graham, we have yet to see either of the two teams. We do expect both sides to make wholesale substitutions. As we understand it, they can make as many as 4 outfield players and 1 goalkeeping change if they decide to. Still, lots of fans on hand, but in some of the end zone seats, many people have gone to the areas underneath the stands, but it is really pouring here at Varsity as the Canadian team now is the first to return to the field. We took a look at that Dutch side without Ruud Gullit. Some people say it was his battles with Dick Advocaat and the style of play. Some people say that he simply didn't get along with Advocaat, and it goes back to a World Cup qualifying game against England when Gullit was substituted late and he didn't think he should come off.
Well, that was damaging to Gullit's pride, and he's been battling with Advocaat ever since. I'm sure that Ruud Gullit wanted Advocaat to allow him the luxury of playing a sort of free role, the role that he adopted with Sampdoria and did it so successfully in Serie A this season. But in the World Cup, as Advocaat knows, you cannot afford the luxury of having a player just drift around and come into the game when he feels like it, and that's exactly what Ruud Gullit wanted to do.
And the Dutch side,
responsibilities at all.
I'm sorry, Graham, the Dutch side making their way out as we looked south from the stadium, you could see the CN Tower off in the distance, and out over Lake Ontario, which is to the south, it is clear blue sky, but over metropolitan Toronto right now, it is cloudy and raining.
And both sides got a standing ovation from the crowd, because the Dutch fans know full well that in Holland, if there's thunder and lightning in the air, they suspend the game till it's passed over. So to see the Dutch side come onto the field, they got a big hand from the Dutch fans.
There you see number 11, Brian Roy, as you say, plays with Foggia, who you like very much. Dennis Bergkamp, so much pressure will be on Bergkamp in this year's World Cup. And also joining him at midfield and wearing number 12 will be Van Vossen, Peter Van Vossen, who plays at Ajax and scored 6 goals in World Cup qualifying for this Dutch side.
Well, Ajax, of course, won the Dutch league this year and will be back in the European Cup, and they're really well represented in this Netherlands side. Referee Mike Reid, I'm sure quite accustomed to this weather. He comes from Birmingham in England. A normal summer's day for Mike.
Also into the game for Holland and wearing number 19 is Rob Witschke. Witschke is into the game for Holland as well. So the Dutch making a number of substitutions as well as the Canadians as the second half is underway. 3-0, Holland leading here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto.
And David Norman, the little midfield dynamo wearing number 13, is into the game for Canada.
Witschke for Van Vossen, his first touch, and then to Roy on this near side. Rob Witschke, who plays with Feyenoord. They won the '93 Dutch League Championship. Yallop for Randy Samuel. Ian Fraser is wide right. They'll go left instead to Carter. The back four for Canada remains the same. The changes are in midfield and up front. Dasovic. Eddie Berdusco calling for it. Looking for Berdusco, and over his head and that of Catlett as well. David Norman, who takes over for Hooper in midfield. The veteran has been around, it seems, forever. You remember him, of course, '86 in Mexico.
Certainly do, and he certainly is aggressive in midfield. Although really the battle has not been in midfield. The Dutch at times with passes from Coman bypass their midfield. Having said that, Coman will likely lay one square, as he does to De Boer.
At midfield, chips it forward, looking for Van Vossen. John Catlett, it's a different game when his height is in.
Well, Frank Rijkaard has dropped back to Mark Catlett, and that will be quite a battle in the air.
Catlett. Berdusco, Rijkaard will finally clear. Yallop. Roy gets up, and a little bump from behind by David Norman. '46-year-old Dick Advocat, the head coach of this national side. Rijkaard has Van Vossen. Van Vossen trying to find the opening, but is squeezed out by Yallop, and then Samuel coming over. Roy. And getting the foot in was Berdusco. And then Berdusco gets stepped on as Fraser was there as well. And Verduzco is down for Canada. And it was just too many feet and not enough area, as Fraser was there, Roy and Eddie Verduzco.
Could also be that shower has made the grass just a little bit skiddy. Pretty tough to tell from here. Goes sliding in. Ooh, came in a little bit after the ball. Roy gets it taken away from him, then follows through afterwards, stands right on the top of Eddie Verduzco's ankle.
Eddie paying his soccer now in the 2nd division of Switzerland. There is some thought that he may be returning to Canada to play this summer in the American Professional Soccer League. There's been some talk that he may return to play here in Toronto. It's been a lot of games in a very short period of time. It started a week and a half ago with Morocco and a 1-1 tie, followed up a week ago, this Sunday. It was in Edmonton, of course, in front of 52,000, a 1-1 tie with Brazil. This past Wednesday, Germany. Friday night in Montreal, Spain, and now it all winds up. The through ball, and Van Vossen was there, but timed and read very well by Craig Forrest. Verduzco, Dasovic, David Norman is on the right. Fraser makes the overlapping run. Norman for Yallop, ahead for Verduzco. And Koeman will play it back for the keeper, De Huy.
And it's interesting to see that number 5 Volks came off at halftime, and Frank Rijkaard has dropped back into the back 3 to join De Boer and Koeman.
Bergkamp.
Oh, great
Oh,
ball.
Witsche is onside. Roy follows up Van Vossen. Witsche tries it himself. Rob Witsche, who spent some time in France before going back to Holland.
Well, the run was great, but the finish leaves a lot to be desired. Instead of cutting it back, he tried to beat Craig Forrest at the near post. Never had a hope. And a bit of a let-off for Canada. Canada getting caught square there as Ian Carter on the left back position played him onside. If you're going to play offside, you've got to all come out as one man. You cannot leave somebody back there covering.
Bergkamp gets up. Play just over 5 minutes. Here in the second half, 3-0 for Holland. Verduzco chests and controls, pushes it off. And now they'll go wide left. Carter is making a run, and then he played it behind. Here's Verduzco. Oh, my goodness. By the time it settled, Graham, the Dutch defenders had time to settle as well.
It wouldn't sit down for Eddie there, but at least Canada have sort of started a little more aggressively as Mike Reid ruins that move.
You don't need that kind of
well, he's having so much fun, he wanted to get into the game.
Off the heel of the official as Dasovic gets away from Wim Jonk. Van Vossen gives chase, and Jeff Onger will beat him back. Near side, Frank Yallop looks for Verduzco. Wouters, Rijkaard. Overmarks. Ian Carter. Jeff Onger loses his footing. Witsche. Looking for Brian Roy.
And even Brian Roy couldn't catch that one. The rain now making the turf ever so slippy. That ball hit the turf and just skidded behind for a goal kick. But I like him. I like to see a number 7 on the right wing touchline and a number 11 on the left wing touchline. That brings back memories. I wish they'd go back to wingers, and I'm sure there's a lot of fans agree with me. Offside. Eddie just moved a little too early.
Dick Howard.
Conditions here are difficult to appraise. Obviously, they're going to be playing in Orlando 2 games. One of the things with Hullett, he felt that their attacking philosophy was unsuitable when you're playing in hot, humid conditions, and that was part of his concern and why he left the team. But a lot different, obviously, today here in Toronto.
Well, Graham, that's one of the things at times the Dutch will have as many as 5 up front ahead of the ball, and Hullett's concern was if we do that, Mr. Advocat, we're leaving ourselves short at the back.
Well, that's true, but by the same token, when they get 5 forward, the defending team is under so much pressure, it's tough to get the ball off them.
At midfield, this is Colin Miller, has a look. Bergkamp up to challenge. Forrest, Bergkamp is there. They'll go wide left for Ian Carter. Over Marks and back to Forrest. Samuel is on wide right, and that's where they'll come. Fraser is ahead of him. Dasovic, Miller at midfield. Verduzco, Catliff, and David Norman, the front runners for Canada. Frank Yallop to midfield as the Dutch now start to lay back. And the ball, the long angled ball, is read well by Rijkaard. They play 10 minutes. Here in the second half, it remains 3-0 for Holland. All 3 goals coming in that first half. The captain, Koeman. Little clutch and grab, Van Vossen, and the foul is on Yallop. The obstruction.
Tough job for Frank Yallop to counter this through ball by Koeman. Van Vossen very strong. Yallop gets in front of him. Little tug gone after the whistle. And let's see if Ronald Koeman will try one of his patented free kicks here, or else they'll chip it to the far post. Bergkamp and Roy standing back, ready to make a run into the box.
Here's Koeman. And off the 3-man Canadian wall. Near side for Vitchke. Van Vossen. Samuel Lamarque. Vitchke. Bergkamp. Under pressure, Bergkamp lays it back. Now they go wide left. Over Marks. Gets away from Onger. Over Marks. Across the top of the area. Vitchke. Roy. Van Vossen. Bergkamp. And then Roy loses it to Dasovic. David Norman. Up this near sideline. Verduzco. Norman. Catliff. As the Canadians do well to work it out. And then offside on the far side. Jeff Onger.
But good covering back by Mark Overmars, who read the break on the left wing, cut out the pass beautifully. He really is a good player. Number 7 for Holland. Watch for him in USA 94.
John Catliff couldn't beat the 3 Dutch defenders. Rijkaard. Jan Wouters. Bergkamp been back. Jonk. Koeman. De Boer is wide left. Pitschke is at the midway line. And they go over the head of Van Vossen. And now the game has settled right down, and it can't imagine it being turned up anymore with a 3-0 Dutch lead.
No, I don't think so. I think the Dutch are in cruise control, but they've appeared to be that way ever since the start. To get 3 goals, click, 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 as they did, it sort of discourages you from raising your game at 2-0.
A Canadian goal here might do something.
Might damage the Dutch pride, but I don't think it would really get Canada back in the game.
Jeff Onger chips it through. At midfield, Frank Yallop. Not enough on that leg. Overmarks.
Strong. Oh.
Overmarks with Colin Miller giving chase. Overmarks then tried to lay it off and couldn't. Bringing it back for Canada, Ian Carter. Plays professionally now in England and gives it away. Overmarks crosses it for Van Vossen. Van Vossen, Roy, top of the area, and then he played it back.
And that ball by Overmars would have been perfect in the first half. The pace it gathered on the wet turf made it impossible for Van Vossen or Roy to catch up to, but a beautiful ball cut across the face of the goal.
Ian Carter, the 26-year-old former Canadian Soccer League All-Star, now plays in Peterborough in England. Jeff Onger. Randy Samuel. Verduzco. Jeff Onger now as the Canadians look to flop their wingers. Onger moves up front. Catlett. Little miscommunication there between the Canadian captains, Miller and Samuel. Catlett turns from Wouters. And once again a throw in for Canada. His Dutch side will open in Washington on June 20th against Saudi Arabia, and then play their next two games in Orlando, Florida. June 25th against Belgium, and then for Morocco on the 29th.
That may be an interesting game, the one against Morocco. The temperature in Orlando certainly should suit the Moroccans. Oh, brilliant.
Bergkamp. 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 Bergkamp heels it back. Van Vossen dummies, and that dummy. One touch too many.
Well, a little overconfident, a little arrogant, but certainly you have to admire the skills of the Dutch. In a normal game, they would have put that away, no problem at all.
Samuel. David Norman. Yallop. Carter is wide left. Well, they played it up the wing, and as Catlett went to turn, he lost his footing.
Well, Dennis Bergkamp is known as a goal scorer, but on the ball, he is as clever as any of this Dutch side. Over-elaboration by the Dutch forwards gave Miller a chance to come back and get the ball, but it really is nice to see the confidence to take on 1, 2, 3 people.
Rijkaard now will control and go wide right. Wouters, Bergkamp, one touch and back. Rijkaard. Koeman. De Boer is on the left. Witschke will drop back. This is Roy. Little chip forward by Witschke. And too far for Roy, and no problem for the Canadian keeper, Craig Forrest. Rolls it out to his Ipswich teammate, Frank Yallop. Wide left. Ian Carter ahead for John Catlett. Wouters marking him. Now Carter makes the angled run. This is Ian Carter. Will he get there in time?
Yes, he did.
And it will be a Canadian corner.
Good run by Ian Carter. Lovely ball through by David Norman. It looked as if the wet turf might take that ball for a corner kick, but good hustle by Carter. And of course, up comes Randy Samuel. Ball is yet to reach him there from corner kicks.
Bonger over the head of Samuel. Colin Miller. Dasovic. And now the Dutch forced to turn it up a little bit. Cut into the middle. This is Samuel. Can he turn? Where does he push it? To Norman. Norman can't control and now under attack. And finally it is Wouters who clears the Van Vossen. This is Bergkamp. Wide on the right was Roy, but even Bergkamp under these slippery conditions now couldn't control. Bergkamp. Jonk will try.
Well, I'm sure that Dick Advocaat was not at all satisfied with the miscontrol by Bergkamp there. In a game like this, just coming into the World Cup, you cannot afford to be sloppy. That was untidy and sloppy, and I'm sure that Dick Advocaat will speak to Dennis Bergkamp.
Canadian substitution as we'll get our first look at Paul Fennick, who plays in Birmingham, England, and he'll replace the captain, Colin Miller. Paul Fennick, who we remember, of course, from the Canadian Soccer League, playing in both Hamilton with the Steelers and the Toronto Blizzard. Paul Fennick is in.
And with entry into the game of Paul Fennick, it now means that Bobby Lenarduzzi has got every one of his team playing in this warm-up schedule, and that's nice to see. It certainly is a learning experience, and I'm sure that every one of this Canadian squad will benefit from playing against world-class sides.
It continues to rain here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto, but it is brightening up to the north.
Oh, what a ball.
And couldn't control Brian Roy.
And as Miller goes up, he passes the armband to Frank Yallop, who will accept the, or assume the captaincy.
Jonk.
Oh, look out, Bergkamp.
Look out, Bergkamp is through, and it is offside. The far sideline from Mr. Mark Warren, as Bergkamp was through. We get Dick Advocaat getting ready to bring more players in. Van Gobel, Ulrich Van Gobel, who plays with Feyenoord. Van Vossen at midfield. Catlett, who has been bothered by a bad knee, forced to give chase. Koeman, Dasovic up to mark, and now the Dutch will just throw it around, Graham.
I'm surprised that Wim Jonk is staying so far back. He loves to come forward for Inter, but today he's been very restrained. Little cool there as Fennick gets his first action of this World Cup series. Wim Jonk, I love to see coming forward. He has not ventured forward at all. Well, there's no question that this was a little bit of a pull by number 19, Witschke, on Fennick. Fennick, tall youngster, long stride. And I'm sure that he's going to feel really pleased that he finally got into this World Cup warm-up. And it looks as if Frank Rijkaard is going to come off. Number 15.
And they call him Uli. Uli Van Gobel comes in for Holland.
Substitution for Holland coming in
with just over 22 minutes remaining.
He replaces number 3, Frank Rijkaard. Wearing number 13, Van Gobel. He replaces Frank Rijkaard.
And Uli gets his first touch and gets it back from De Huy. He's joined the back three in place of Frank Rijkaard. I get the feeling that every one of these Dutch players could play anywhere. It doesn't matter where you line them up. They're still capable of giving a good performance.
The return ball from Catlett to Fennick. Ran too far, and Koeman was there comfortably. And once again, another heavy shower here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. David Norman. Vitschke. In the rain in Toronto. The Dutch lead 3-0.
When I was young, often I dreamed of being someone. This country offered me that opportunity, and I am proud to be a Canadian. But every 4 years, I can't help but think of my youth, my friends, and my first love.
L'Italia. Viva l'Italia. MasterCard is a proud sponsor of the 1994 World Cup and salutes all those Canadians who feel this is more than a game, but part of themselves.
All 3 goals for Holland came in the first half at 6:13 and 37 minutes. As we play here with about 20 minutes remaining at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Dick Rudder along with Graham Leggett.
In torrential rain, and I'm sure the Dutch are enjoying this little rain shower, just like Saturday's game in Amsterdam.
Well,
very refreshing.
If now, though, if the rain would quit and the humidity would come up, then it would be just like Orlando, and that may be the biggest concern, is the humidity of Florida for this World Cup.
Well, I don't think that's going to be a problem for the Dutch, because the Dutch really don't do a lot of running. They make the ball do the work. They can conserve their energy and push the ball around as they're doing now. You watch, there's very little running.
And you can hear the crowd yelling because of the rainstorm, as it is, you can see, raining very hard here in Toronto.
What a pity, because all the other games in this warm-up schedule, the weather was absolutely magnificent.
And to start this game as well, Ian Carter looking downfield for Catlett. Wouters gets back. Hui, and Hui will give away the corner to Canada.
Wouters really put the goalkeeper in a bit of a jam there. It would have been much better to knock it out of touch. No point in pushing it back to the goalkeeper under these conditions and in such a tight position.
Jeff Onger. Koeman, no problem. Pinnock. Carter chips it back, looking for Catlett. And under some pressure, De Hui.
I like the way Jan Wouters covers so well back there. He reads the game beautifully.
Pinnock wins the ball from Vitschke. Dasovic. Ian Fraser to midfield for Catlett. Vitschke on his heels. The Canadians do well to work it around, and then Verduzco loses it. De Boer near side. Catlett controls from Jonk, and then he's brought down by Vitschke. And Mr. Mike Reed says no.
Well, Vitschke said he got the ball, but I think you'll see in USA 94, any tackle coming in from behind, the whistle will blow right away. Wasn't a bad tackle by Vitschke at all.
And this, of course, may be one of the final times you'll see the referees in black. Because come World Cup USA 94, you'll see them in what they're calling fuchsia, silver, or yellow strips.
Should add some color to the game.
Bearcat. Roy. Oh. Now he punches it forward.
Van Vossen knew he was offside there, didn't even challenge, didn't waste the energy.
Frank Yallop to midfield for Canada. Verduzco, Catlett calling for it in the middle, and that's where they'll go. Van Kobel, though, will hook it down, and the Dutch keeper. De Hui to midfield. Jeff Onger can control. Bergkamp, and then Onger brings down Bergkamp. Wim Young. Van Hobel. Overmarks. Young. Van Hobel, Overmarks. Tried to chip it through with the outside of his right foot and couldn't. Near side, Onger, and Canada can't control.
You can't afford to let it bounce on a ball like that. You got to kill it before it bounces or else it's gone.
Roy. And Fraser does well to turn and get away from the speedy Brian Roy on the left wing. Catlett. Van Hobel, thinking he might be called for the foul, wasn't. Dasovic, David Norman, outside.
Did you see Ronald Koeman there? As soon as that ball was hit, he just stepped forward, left Catlett in offside position. Beautiful play by Koeman. Never touched the ball, but he caused the whistle.
Wim Young to the captain Koeman. De Boer. Very nice. It is Bergkamp. Bergkamp lays it off. Pitchfeed. Van Vossen calling for it. Van Vossen, and getting back was Carter. It remains 3-0 Holland. World Cup Exhibition Soccer here on TSN.
You're looking at one Canadian. Like 10 million others, she now owns a home. And like 5 million, she has a mortgage. To most, she's an average Canadian just trying to make ends meet. But to Royal Bank, she's the reason we introduced a new money-saving mortgage called Rate Capper. True, we have 8 million other customers, but we got to be Canada's largest bank, one customer at a time.
Under 15 minutes remaining here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Vic Rutter along with Graham Leggett as we conclude our coverage of these exhibition games involving the Canadian national team and 5 clubs all heading to USA 94. We welcome again viewers joining us in the United States on Prime Network. 3-0 Holland leading with under 15 minutes to play. Over marks, then Wilson getting back and cleared away by Randy Samuel, who read it well.
My word.
Paul Fennick and Van Hobel, and the boots of Van Hobel into the midsection of Paul Fennick.
Well, I think the wet turf caused this. Watch Van Hobel stretch for it and just dig him right in the midriff. I have to be honest and say that I don't think for a minute that Uli Van Hobel went for the ball there. He went over the top of the ball and stepped right on Fennick. And really, considering the way the game's been played, I don't think there was any reason for that at all. Obviously, the wet turf sort of aggravated the situation, but he made no attempt to go for the ball.
A reminder to stay with us right after the game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Armor All.
To prove that Armor All and Dust That X keeps your dash looking clean, we're here at the Desierto 500. Well, there you have it. Armor All with Dust That X keeps your dash looking clean.
Paul Fennick slowly making his way to his feet as the Dutch have made a substitution, Graham. Coming in is John Bosman, who plays with Anderlecht in Belgium.
And going out is the little number 11, Brian Roy.
And at the same time, Eddie Verduzco has come out of the game for Canada, and going in, wearing number 12, John Liniadis. John, who currently plays with the Montreal Impact of the APSL, the American Professional Soccer League, which begins its new season. July the 1st.
And you would expect Johnny Busman to go up front. I like Johnny Busman. I think he's a great striker. And he's obviously trying to establish himself as one of the 3 strikers in this Dutch side for the USA 94. Not bad what you can bring on a striker like Johnny Busman after playing for 70 minutes.
Vitke for De Boer. Oh, lovely to get away from Catliffe. Bosman with his first touch at midfield. Vitke.
Back to Coleman. Coleman is always available. If a defender gets in trouble, Coleman is always available.
Wouters. Van Gobel.
Back to Coleman.
Yeah, he's... If there's a safety valve, it's him, isn't it? Van Vossen. Frank de Boer calls for it. Koeman through the middle for Wouters. And now it's Bosman trying to turn on Samuel. Randy Samuel does well. David Norman. Limniadis. And quickly Bosman for De Boer as the sun breaks through here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. And it was as if somebody just flipped the switch and turned the lights on. Bergkamp. Jeff Onger will steal for Canada at midfield. Paul Fennick in a crowd plays it back. Frank Yallop plays it up the right wing looking for David Norman. And his flick through won't find anybody. Koeman. Bergkamp gets away from Yallop. Play on, says Mr. Reed. Bosman is in front of him. A little give and go. Jonk. Wouters makes an overlapping run. He'll come to the left side instead of Bosman. Headed down for Bergkamp. And cleared away by Randy Samuel. The thing about all these sides, Graham, is just the tactical play, the way they throw it around with such confidence, and each one makes space and makes runs that puts themselves in the open. De Boer tries to cut it across and can't.
Well, the Dutch are going to be one of the best teams in USA 94, and I'm sure the fans have been well entertained this afternoon. Perhaps a little bit unfortunate that they got the goal so easily in the first half, 1-2-3, because they've sort of cruised since then.
Far post, Dasovic hits it away. And this is Coleman. Lays it off, overmarks, chips it back, looking for De Boer. And off of Fraser, and it once again will be a corner. And you see Fraser a little disappointed that he couldn't control, but then Forrest was there to say you did well. Jonks. Vitke. This is Koeman. Here's Koeman. And David Norman stepped up to take away the shot. And Gobel. Wouters. Koeman. Bosman. De Boer. Ahead for Van Vossen. At midfield, Wouters overmarks Van Gobel as the Dutch now confidently throw it around here with just over 6 minutes remaining and leading 3-0 over Canada. Nick Howard.
A few minutes ago, Frank Rijkaard left the game. Nothing serious, just a Charlie horse. They took him off as a precautionary measure, so nothing to worry about for Dutch fans watching the game today.
Rijkaard immediately going to the dressing room here at Varsity Stadium. Randy Samuel plays it back for Craig Forrest. Fraser is on the left. Limniadis. Dasovic. Jeff Andre. John Catlett tries to make space up front. And then the Canadians just give it away. And that is that old bugaboo, and Bob Lenarduzzi admits to it, Graham, when they're inside a certain area, 25 yards out, they just don't know what to do with it. As it is Van Vossen now. Van Vossen will try and turn. Van Vossen, oh, and off of Frank Yellop.
Well, Van Vossen was trying to curve this with the inside of his foot into the top corner. Yellop sticks his head in the wake. Oh, take that.
Ian Carter got up for Canada. Headed and cleared away by Fennick. De Boer. Near side for Jong. And then played behind Vitschke. Wouters. Koeman. Van Hobel with Catlett giving chase. And the Canadians have been doing a lot of chasing. Over Marks. With Yellop to Mark. Plays it back. This is Bergkamp. Bergkamp. Bosman. Bergkamp. Oh, and getting a foot in at the last moment was Ian Carter.
Well, Bergkamp again on the ball. Watch this little one too. Beautiful, but Ian Carter reacts well, and I think I agree with Carter. It should have been a goal kick. Nevertheless, it's a corner kick for Holland.
Bent in and cleared away by Carter. Vitschke. Oh! Off the foot of Paul Fennick, and it nearly found the corner.
Well, this is really dangerous when the ball rebounds like this. Fennick tries to hook it clear, but Ian Fraser making sure that it didn't go in. I think it was going to go past the post, but
Wim Jong, third in a row, and this one cleared away by Carter. Jeff Onger.
What's this?
This is Koeman. Chips it back for Jong.
Good play
and
by
Bosman.
Fraser.
And Ian Fraser was there.
You can hear the buzz in the crowd every time Koeman gets the ball outside the box because they expect him to hit it like his patented, famous free kicks.
Bounces by Van Hobel. Onger controls to get away from Vitschke. And now it's Canada. The Dutch hustling to get back. Limniadis. Catlett. Limniadis. And they'll play it back. And you see, that may be the biggest difference. Rather than take the ball and run at people, as you say, Graham, the Canadians are quite up to wait for some support.
Yeah, they don't have the confidence the Dutch have to take one-on-one, to go at somebody and try and beat him. And once they've beaten him, go at somebody else and beat them, just as Bergkamp just did. They prefer to use somebody as a wall and get it back from him rather than go one-on-one, but that will come. Canada's still, of course, a developing nation in soccer, and I tell you, they're surprising a few people with the performances this last week.
The pass for Bergkamp is cut off by Samuel, and now he makes the run, the big center back. now playing like a forward. Bergkamp heels it for Van Vossen. Vitke will take the throw in. Van Vossen will go up along with Fennick. The final few moments now here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Holland and Canada conclude a 5-game exhibition series as the Dutch fans.
Well, we spoke how Brazil played to their fans' band. The Dutch obviously reacting in a similar fashion. I'm sure that Dick Advocaat will be very pleased with this performance today by the Dutch side. No injuries, a nice smooth performance, 3 goals, good finishing, pretty solid at the back.
Frank Yallop. And it was their start, Graham, just so quick off the mark. I mean, they can punish it if they can do that kind of, make those kind of runs so quickly in their World Cup games. They're going to punish a lot of sides.
Well, they're sure to go through to the second round. Morocco, Saudi Arabia really shouldn't give too much opposition to Belgium and Holland in Group F, but it's a funny game. You never know.
The ball upfield. Couldn't find John Catlett. De Boer. De Goeie.
Really, De Goeie has not been tested today. He's picked up some back passes, but has not had to make a save.
Bergkamp. And I'm not sure if you can... The game against Spain certainly could point at the fitness of the Canadians being tired, but I'm not sure if you can point at that today.
No, I don't think so, because had the Canadians not been tired, then I think this Dutch side is quite capable of turning it up a notch or two. They've just cruised through this game, and as I said, it's a learning experience for the Canadian side, and I'm sure it's a worthwhile workout for Dick Advocaat heading into USA 94.
Van Hobel, De Jong, Koeman.
Oh, beautiful.
Van Vossen. As the Dutch now in full control, throwing it around. Van Vossen. Vitke. Onger gives him a challenge. This is Vitke. 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 Bergkamp plays it off. Looking for Bosman.
Well, if he was going to lay it off as short as that to Bosman, he should have given Bosman a call that Fennick was on his back. Not really a good ball at all.
And this game will end the way it began, in the sunshine here at Varsity Stadium. And it's 3-0 Holland.
And despite the score line, a creditable performance again by Canada, who come out of this pre-USA 94 warm-up series with a lot of credit. You can't say enough about them. Obviously, they weren't in the same class today, but they never gave up, stuck to the task, and this Dutch side looked pretty good.
All 3 Dutch goals coming in the first half as they struck quickly for 2 within 13 minutes. Holland tunes up with a 3-0 win over Canada here on TSN.